in meetings. You're not alone. Neither are you powerless. Here's what America's biggest CEOs are doing about it. I'm Kim Commando for ExpressVPN. Every time you go online, your provider tracks you. Protect your privacy and get 4 extra months at expressvpn.com/Kim. Jamie Dimon is not a man to be taken lightly. He's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, and he's fed up. And so is Airbnb's CEO, Brian Chesky. Dimon famously told employees 2 years ago, COVID was long gone, and to get back into the office or get out. Today, he's leading the charge against staff members texting during meetings. He says it's disrespectful and waste time. Either put the phone away or find somewhere else to work. Brian Chesky advises staffers to set their phones to allow only emergency calls from family. And here's a great idea. Remember the swear jar? Set up a phone jar. $5 per infraction and enough, you're out. Join almost 1 million folks who get my free newsletter to always stay tech ahead. Sign up now at getkim.com. You're being watched. Every time you go online, internet service providers track your every move. Here in the United States, they're selling our browsing history. Until that changes, you need to protect yourself like I do with ExpressVPN, an easy-to-use app that encrypts and reroutes all your internet traffic through secure servers. With ExpressVPN, your internet provider can't see your browsing history, and it hides your IP address and location. Plus, you can even change your IP address to stay completely private and anonymous online. And with servers in over 100 countries, you can appear virtually anywhere. It's so easy to use. One button and you're connected. And with apps for every device, phones, laptops, desktops, tablets, ExpressVPN makes it simple to stay private anywhere you connect. Start taking your online privacy seriously like I do with ExpressVPN. Get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN right now at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning, Central Louisiana. It's a terrific Tuesday because you're listening to Talkback with Stephen Maxwell and Nathan Martin. Good morning, Stephen. There's a chill in the air.
It's a little cool this morning.
I don't know if it's as cool as it was yesterday. I heard you talking about taking the puppy out, and but it was chilly, and my heater only started working about 3/4 of the way here because it's not that long of a drive.
Yeah, it's maybe like a degree hotter this morning, but it's nice. Nice and chill.
A degree hotter. So my daughter, I have to take her to school every morning, and she's like, turn the heater on. I'm like, well, baby, it takes a while for the motor to warm up the engine coolant, which goes through the heater core. And she's like, well, why can't it get hot faster? I'm like, well, there's some mechanical things that have to happen that she doesn't grasp that. So
I hear
you're
you.
supposed to turn on, you push the heat button, heat's supposed to come out. So,
Make it work.
I guess if I had an electric car, it probably would work right away with it.
I don't know. Never
I need
had
our
one.
Tesla drivers to let us know when you press the heater button in your car, does heat start like, almost instantly? That would be a cool feature to have.
It would be. The company car we have here, it has heated steering wheel, heated seats. It's nice. So I like to drive that one during this time of year.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they let you take it home so you could bring. Does it have remote start?
I think so.
That'd be nice, man.
Yeah.
Start it up about 5 minutes before you got to go. You get into a toasty car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, my car, you gotta push it to start it or something. So.
Push it to start.
It's like everyone here, they had to push a cart up a hill with square wheels to make it. So.
I will tell you, I lived in a season when we were struggling with finances. Well, every family has, right? But there was a certain season when I had a vehicle that often would not start, and it was a standard, so I always parked it on a hill facing downhill, always.
Oh, really?
And many mornings it would just be that pop the clutch, let it roll down the hill, and crank her up that way.
Oh, yeah. No, the car I have now is fine. It works. Just sometimes the air conditioner doesn't work.
Is that $20,000 2015 Corolla you talked about, or what?
Yeah, 2015 Corolla. I mean, it's a fantastic car. That's why I bought it, because it hopefully lasts forever.
But the air conditioner doesn't work.
Sometimes the AC, when it gets hot, just quits.
Weird.
And then it will jump back on after a while.
Isn't that frustrating? You spend $20-something thousand for a vehicle, and then it's intermittent failures.
But at least it runs, and Never had an issue with that. I'll take it.
Well, we're just commiserating about life around here. 442-8255-318, 442-8255, the BOM talk line. Love to hear from you today. We've got open line throughout the first hour, and then coming up in the second hour, it's the segment you're looking for and you're always wanting to hear. It's Matt Ritchie with the Central Louisiana Economic Update. This is a segment I like looking forward to, and I always like pressing him. You got something new? So, yeah, well, we'll see what Matt's got for us coming up in hour number 2. But this hour, it's just Steve and I, and talking about events around town, talking about things that you've covered recently. Big news today coming in. I'm sure you heard it yourself on the early news. Former Vice President Dick Cheney passed away at the age of 84 years old. And love him or hate him, there's no doubt he was one of the most influential vice presidents in the history of the United States. He had tremendous influence. Obviously a smart man, president of Halliburton Oil, which is a worldwide conglomeration of corporations, and made millions there. The only thing I would say about Dick is I do not want to go never wanted to go dove hunting with him. You remember that story?
Oh, yeah. Remember that one.
The accidental discharge. Yeah, okay. But
was he in office or? He was out.
I don't recall. I don't think he was.
Yeah, he was out.
But that was down in Texas, I believe, is where that was. But everybody's got a Dick Cheney story. My dyslexia has kicked in big time this morning. Is this going to be a fun show or what?
Oh, man.
So I'm teaching Spanish on Friday nights. On Monday nights. I can't even say what day it is. Last night I teach Spanish on Monday night. So last night I'm teaching the class. And in Spanish, adjectives come after the noun they modify. So it's not White House, it's house white.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get to talking a lot in Spanish, sometimes it comes across into English. That's my claim anyway for why I said the Dick Cheney instead of Dick Cheney story.
Yeah, that confuses me with Spanish, putting the color after the noun.
Yeah, it makes sense though. Somebody said, I asked years ago, and when I was taking Spanish, was like, why do they do that? I asked a Spanish-speaking native. He said, well, what's more important, the noun itself or the modifier of the noun? I mean, if you're about to die and all you have in the last gasp is, to describe the person that killed you, do you want to say tall? Or do you want to say man tall? Something like that. Okay. You only have one word. Give the noun first.
I don't know. I would, if someone was killing me, or someone tried to kill me, and I could only get one word out, I'd say tall, because they're going to assume it was probably a human being.
They're going to. Yeah, but was it a man or a woman?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, that was very stupid. I was just going to go ahead and. Well, I love Spanish though. It's a language of rules, and when I teach Spanish, one of the things I'm able to say is, you always do this. You always do this. A is always a. There's no long A, short A. O is always O, right? So in English, I before E except after C. You have all these crazy rules you got to follow that aren't always even true. So, beautiful, beautiful language. Have you picked up any Spanish? Being married to
Poquito, muy malo.
Muy malo. Very bad. Okay, a little bit, very bad. Oh, my goodness. I think it's a great language. It's beautifully descriptive and great to make poetry because there's a lot of rhyming words in Spanish. So,
yeah.
But I will tell you, I can't understand English raps. I don't think I'm going to understand Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl half.
Well, I'll point and say words in Spanish with people that I know just to get my point across. Casa. Esposa, stuff like that.
I got a funny joke for you in Spanish. It's a Spanish-English joke. It's true. It's a true word. So you said esposa, which is the word for wife. Esposo, with the O on the ending, would be husband, right? So A is for a lady, O is for a man. But if you put an S on the end of the esposa, it doesn't mean wives. It means handcuffs.
Oh, really?
So if you have more than one wife, you are handcuffed to do. You're going to jail.
I always tell my daughter, Dormir, time to go to sleep.
That's
I always
good.
say that.
That's good, yeah.
And the one confusing thing is our dog's name is Ben.
Oh, that means
Ben
come here.
in Spanish means come here.
That's right.
So whenever we brought our dog to our family's house.
Ben.
And they were like, they thought we were just telling it to come here.
Oh, man.
So everyone was confused.
Oh, I've got so many funny stories about Spanish. There's a phrase that people use when you're working together and you want to say look out. You say aguas, which is the word for waters. And supposedly it comes from the olden days when you'd be walking down the street and somebody was going to throw some water out the kitchen window, they would just yell aguas, and you would know to, hey, look, And so that's just become a catchphrase in Spanish. I didn't know that. I didn't know the language well enough or the etymology or where they came from. And so I was living down there, and we were moving, and we were taking some things down from an apartment on the upper floor, lowered them by a rope. So we had, there were 2 Americans and 2 Mexicans. And so American and a Mexican up top, American and a Mexican at the bottom, I'm down at the bottom. And every time the guy would lower something over the rope, over the balcony, he would say, aguas. And the guy would turn and look up. So after a while, I said to him, is aguas your nickname, or how is that your name? He looked at me like, what? I'm like, well, I mean, he calls you aguas. He goes, no, that's just a phrase for look out. He explained it to me, and they laughed at me. So I'm used to being laughed at.
Well, my South American in-laws, they don't say adios because that's a Mexican thing.
Okay.
They don't say amigos, stuff like that.
Right.
It's a little bit different sometimes.
That's really
some of the cuss words are different too.
I got some jokes
the ones I
like. I told my Spanish class last night some of my biggest mistakes. When you don't know another language, a cuss word is just some syllables and consonants put together. It means nothing to you, and you can say those words without accidentally not even knowing, and I've done that a couple of times. So not the best look. So my goodness. Well, this is the Spanish Hour on KSYL, as we'll take your phone calls on how to pronounce words in Spanish. Just kidding. Glad to have you with us this morning.
Dios mío.
Dios mío. Oh man. Well, as we look forward again, Matt Ritchie coming up at 8:00. Always looking forward to him and hearing what's going on. There's all kinds of questions about who's going to replace Brian Kelly at LSU coach. But I really think the question today is who's going to be the next president of LSU, because today is the day when that decision will be made. And there's a leading candidate from McNeese University, and some say is Governor Landry's favorite. And then there are a couple other quality candidates. I heard on the news coming in, there's discussion of maybe splitting out the extension schools and having a different president for them, because it's a lot of responsibility to lead us. LSU's got 25,000 students or more by itself. And then you have all these LSUA, LSUE, LSU, supposedly soon LSU-NO.
Well, if LSUA is bigger than McNeese now.
It is.
I mean, it seems to get to that point now. Yeah.
Well,
which is good news for us.
So if you have a suspicion about who is going to be the next president, or you have any inside scoop, you can call in and disguise your voice and tell us. We'd love to hear your thoughts about that. There's also the stuff up in Washington today ties the record for the longest shutdown in the history of the United States of America. And don't know if there's a crack in the resolve to get it over with. And maybe some people wanted to break the record, and now that you broke the record, it's let's go. We can change things now. SNAP benefits. Trump apparently has authorized the payment of half of November's SNAP benefits. Louisiana is saying they'll pick up the other part. Just don't know when those cards are going to be loaded yet. So those are questions that are out there. Lots of things taking place around the state and around the nation that we'll chat about. But we're at the bottom of the hour, which means we need to take that break with the Bloomberg Business Report. Back with more right after this on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Starbucks is looking to improve its fortunes in China and hoping a local partner will help. The coffee chain has agreed to sell a majority stake in its China business to a Chinese private equity firm. Starbucks has been searching for a partner to help chart its next chapter in that nation. Starbucks has struggled in recent years, along with other Western companies that have lost ground to local rivals. It's looking like a rough day on Wall Street. Stocks are seeing losses this morning with S&P futures down around 1%. Keep in mind that stocks have surged more than 35% since April. And the fight between YouTube and Disney over distribution fees continues to drag on. YouTube TV rejected Disney's request to restore ABC to the online TV service this election day. YouTube says adding back the channel for the day might confuse subscribers. YouTube TV customers lost access to Disney channels such as ABC, ESPN, and FX on October 31st. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Rapides Parish Library wants to say thank you. We're so grateful for you, our patrons, our supporters, and the entire Cenlaw community. Because of you, we can offer free books, movies, ebooks, classes, and programs for all ages. From story times to job resources, from Wi-Fi hotspots to local history. It's all here for you. Your support makes it possible. So this season, as we count our blessings, know that you are at the top of our list. RPL, your community, your stories, your library.
Another clear and cold night tonight, as we'll see the overnight lows under clear skies down to 39 degrees. On Tuesday, another nice day, sunny skies, 74 will do it for the afternoon high. 44, the overnight low on Tuesday night, and then as we look ahead to Wednesday, another nice day with sunshine, 78 for the afternoon high. This really nice weather continues right into the weekend. From the Cenlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Happy to be on Talkback with you this fine Tuesday morning, where it's a little after 7:30, and we're expecting your phone calls at 318-442-8255. Want to hear what's on your mind about happenings around the area. Stephen, you spoke at the Rotary Club over in Avoyelles Parish yesterday, was it?
Yeah, it was at Bailey's in the Square in Marksville. Fantastic group of people. Just talked about what we're doing here at Cenlaw Broadcasting, our vision for Central Louisiana media, and what we would like to see in Central Louisiana. So,
well,
exciting stuff.
I've never spoken to a Rotary Club. How was that experience?
Really?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Figured you spoken at 65 of them.
I've spoken at other entities, but not a Rotary Club. I haven't reached that top tier level of, prominence.
Yeah.
But I've attended many, and they're always incredibly, especially the Alexandria Rotary Club. I know Pineville has one. They're just always great guests. And so for you to be a guest, it speaks very well of, and of course I know Avoyelles loves them some Stephen Maxwell, because
some of them
really highlight.
But I'm a, I love Avoyelles Parish. Great area, fantastic people, lots of character, lots of charm. And we talked about that too. It's a gold mine of, social media content over there. So we love going over there. Got a couple stories while I was there, and I will be back many, many times. And it's a good way to network too.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You've got me intrigued. I want to go try those places that you've highlighted. I look forward to doing that. Hopefully soon with my wife.
We haven't posted it yet. C'est La Vie, the new coffee shop downtown. We'll have something on that. Then just right down the road, they have La Petite Affaire.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
That's the one I really look forward to trying.
And I've been in Central Louisiana for on and off 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Never been to Bailey's on the Square. Beautiful building, beautiful spot. And they have their big Arts in the Rafter program coming up Thursday.
Now tell me a little bit of the history of what Bailey's on the Square is.
Oh, I'm sure our callers know more than me.
Okay.
They said it was like a theater at one point, maybe back in the day, bowling alley, nightclub.
I've seen it driving by, but I've never set foot in it like you.
You remember Finnegan? Have you ever been into Finnegan's Wake?
I saw pictures of it. I've seen people. It looks like a place of great character.
It's like a big, immaculate Finnegan's Wake.
Okay,
it's got that vibe.
That's cool.
The dark lighting and the wooden interior, old school.
You're probably going to like Hemingway House in Pineville when it opens. You've heard about that spot?
I broke that story.
Oh, thank you very much.
Everyone's jumping on that now. I was the first one there. No, I did a video on them like a month or two ago.
You know, it's not fun talking to you because you know everything. You've done everything.
Well, I hit you up to give me stuff all the time.
Well, that's true, but
so you know more than me.
Not really, but
on that side of the river.
I'm grateful for the things happening there. I'm super glad that Claiborne Street opened back up finally yesterday afternoon. The street going to Pineville High School.
But it looks fantastic.
It really has a neat concept. I mean, the concept of this, I'm going to use the word speakeasy. I hope that's a good term to use for it. I'm not well versed in the terminology.
Speakeasy would be like a hidden.
Well,
bar.
this won't be hidden. It's going to be right there on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
But I get, the idea of this vibe of, it's a place where you can get some spirits, but you can also, there's going to be a bookshop in there and just this feel of connection and community. And the city council voted last month to actually enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with them to allow them to use, there's right next to their building is this dirt space with a tree that is used for nothing. And so they're going to maintain it. They're going to put in, lights and chairs and tables and make it, an outdoor seating area. So, like an overflow space. And I think what a beautiful vibe that's going to have downtown, to have people on the sidewalks and people talking, kind of almost a little bit of Paris, France, the whole sidewalk cafe experience. So
it's going to be a used bookstore, like you said, coffee bar, liquor bar, beer, stuff like that, kind of like your downtown hangout. You got little Chubbies across the street. You have the Star Theater getting revamped, which is going to be nice, I hear.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting ready to paint the mural right there on Main Street as well.
Full history of Pineville.
Full history of Pineville. You have the photography shop across the street. Then the staples like the fireplace and what is it, Louisiana Fireplace?
Louisiana Fireplace, yeah.
Just a bunch of them. So you know this more than anybody, but when I was here like in 2011 compared to now, it looks like things are really moving in the right direction.
Who was it I was listening to yesterday talked about? Oh, it was Dr. Uth. Dr. Uth spoke at First Baptist Church yesterday. They had a luncheon there. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah, what the heck?
But I'm dropping.
I would have been out, yes.
He's actually the revival evangelist at First Baptist Church. They're in revival this week. And he is the pastor of First Baptist Church in Orlando, Florida. Some amazing stories he shared, phenomenal stories. But he once pastored First Baptist West Monroe years ago, which is a very large church up in West Monroe area. And he talked about coming to Central Louisiana to what was then LC, bringing students down for events. So he was somewhat familiar with Pineville. And he talked about how, things have really advanced. And from his perspective, having not been here in 10 years or so. So that was nice to hear.
It's on the up and up for sure.
Well, and we got to get Jorge Rocha in here one day to talk to. He's, I'm going to say he's a driving force for things that are happening down there. He owns some of those properties. He's actually, thinks outside the box on a lot of things. And I think one of the things I like the most about him is he is a huge advocate for other small businesses. He is a cheerleader for anybody who steps out and starts a small business. I see him on, like the other day, the company in Ball that used to be called Freedom Bakery, they changed their name to Sweet Mamas or
Sweet something.
I think it's Sweet Mamas. But they changed locations, changed their name, but they got a little pushback because they're not open as early in the morning. And so the lady who owns it had written a Facebook post, look, I'm sorry, I understand that, but it's just me and my mom, and I have to get my kid off to school in the morning. And if I have to make a choice, I'm going to prioritize my family. And Jorge was one of those, you go girl, we're proud of you. You're doing a great job. And there were quite a few others in there. But when I just saw him, I see him on other people's posts a lot promoting. So I appreciate that.
And Jorge, he'll be like, whenever I was talking to him about downtown, he's like, we'll just we want people to come invest here with my properties. We'll just pay what you can pay.
That is stunning.
And like, he understands it, and he understands the mission, and he's one of the younger people putting himself out there, boots on the ground. Instead of complaining all the time, he's actually actively doing something. Like, you're actively doing something. You got to put yourself out there, and you got to try and make a difference instead of just complaining all the time.
Yeah, I so much appreciate that. He had a post yesterday that we'll try to find. He said he attended the Downtown Development District meeting. He must have come after I left. I had to leave before it was over with last Wednesday. But he said, I attended the latest Pineville Downtown Development District meeting at City Hall. I intend to make a proposal for a hybrid space for low-income tenants who want to live, pay a flat fee for their CLECO utility bills and access a commercial space so they sell their goods. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. What an out-of-the-box idea, to say, hey, here's a place where you can live and do business at the same time.
Yep.
And I'm really hoping we'll see more of that now Pineville's already a mixed use downtown. I mean, you're going to have Sherwin-Williams is right next to a house, right? And up and down the street, there's residential mixed in. But to see the possibility of, living upstairs when there's a downstairs commercial space, that stuff happens in big cities all the time, but we don't see a lot of that down here. So,
and you take the politics out of it. You mean you see the administration of Pineville, the council, all the players there. They're just really moving forward. They're trying to do more, and they're out there. And so you can definitely notice it.
For years, Pineville. The name of Pineville or the nickname back in the 80s and the 90s was the Progressive City under Mayor Fred Baden. But it has certainly become a reality in the last decade. So grateful. Hey, look, we got a caller calling in, but we have to take this break. Caller, stick around. We're coming to you first right after this break on Talkback.
KSYL. Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Hi, I'm Nancy Landry. No matter what part of our great state you call home, Louisiana's elections are an important part of who we are. In 2026, closed party primaries will change how some of those elections happen, so you'll want to know what to do. Keeping your registration current ensures you'll get the right party-based ballot. Remember, this change only applies to certain offices. To learn more, visit govote.com or download the GoVote app.
Paid for by the Louisiana Secretary of State's office.
Do you always have sports betting on your mind? Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting gamblingsignsla.org or by texting or calling 877-770-STOP for free confidential help now.
It's Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Good morning. Welcome back to Talkback. I made a 2-syllable word into one. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up. I called yesterday about complaint about Optimum.
Yeah.
I've never called an elected official before in my life, and I'm pretty old. But anyway, I had a very pleasant experience calling Mike Johnson's office. No hold time, very pleasant person with a good attitude and a sense of humor, and he welcomes and wants your complaints about Optimum.
I appreciate that.
So if you know anybody that's got a problem, please call them because they are taking complaints about it, and he wants to know about it.
Hey, do you use Facebook? Do you know how to? Do you know how to?
What did I just say about Optimum? I got a little. I've been having problems with either the computer or the lines and everything else. So anyway,
I'm just trying to help you. If you can direct message me, I have someone who wants to reach out to you. I'm trying to help you.
No. I got it taken care of.
Okay, good.
Great.
Yeah, after about 5 hours worth of time, either wait time, hold time, call back time, and everything else. But when you call them and say you want to disconnect, don't jump through hoops.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll cut your bill in half. They'll do everything they can to keep you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you have a complaint, please, she said, please call him. He wants to know. Okay?
That's great. I appreciate you confirming that. That's probably Cindy that you spoke with, Cindy Hodnott, his phenomenal assistant. And Mike has done a great job through the years advocating. He's even had the leaders of Optimum called up for House committee hearings. I mean, he's going to hold their feet to the fire, and he gets response. They don't like him, but that's okay. He doesn't care because he's going to take care of his constituents. That's a great plug in there.
If you hear anybody that's got a problem, even minuscule, tell them to call him. It's a very pleasant experience, and she's a lovely lady.
That's great. Thank you so much for
Thank
that
you.
affirmation right there. Appreciate that. I have a lady in my church. She's either 89 or 90. I have to go back and look. I think she's 89, and she's moving from her long-time residence into a senior living facility. It's not an assisted living. It's just a place where you have to be 55 or older. And so she's moving there. And yesterday was her third appointment at that facility where she had to wait for 3 to 4 hours for the technician to show up and still hasn't shown up. She's got her fourth appointment today. And I'm going to do what he said. I'm going to suggest that she give Representative Johnson a call because that's ridiculous. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Stephen and Nathan.
Yes. What are the other options for Optimum?
Well, it kind of depends on where you are. AT&T has fiber in the area. There's also a company called Vexus that if they are in your area, they also offer high-speed fiber service. I will also tell you, though, there's a services now, AT&T and T-Mobile both have wireless 5G home internet service.
Verizon, too.
And Verizon. Okay, thank you for confirming that. So basically, your big three will offer, it's a modem, sits in your home just like a regular modem, but it connects wirelessly. So the advantage of that is, doesn't matter if a tree falls a tree falling is not going to cut the airwaves, right? So I have several friends who've gone to that. They like it. It's not going to be 1 gigabit service. It's super fast. But if you're not playing the latest raging games, if you're just doing internet and maybe some movie streaming and whatnot, it's more than adequate. And cost is, I think, better than wired service as well. So that's something to look into. So there's several options now that we used to not have.
Well, what about the options to the TV service?
So there is no other cable provider that I'm aware of, but you do have options like YouTube TV, Hulu Live TV, Sling TV. There's another one I'm not thinking of. Oh, Dish offers a over-the-air, over-the-internet service. So you still have to have internet service, but now I recently did discontinue my YouTube TV, but it had all the local channels. It basically was the full lineup that you have on Optimum. Every channel you can get on Optimum, you can get on YouTube TV.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the call. I love technology, so I wouldn't mind having a technology talk, from time to time. I did cancel YouTube TV mainly just because I don't find myself using it. And, why am I going to pay $80 a month for something I'm just not using? Kind of like my gym membership, except I'm in a contract, so I got to pay for that.
You're stuck in it?
Speaking of gym, 28 East is a new sponsor for Sinlaw Updates.
Yeah, 28 Fitness off Highway 28 in Pineville is one of our Sinlaw Update sponsors. So you'll see them on some of our videos, exciting stuff.
Does that mean that we're going to get more videos of you jumping on boxes?
No, not this time.
You're not getting back into CrossFit, are you?
I do. I just you're gonna make me get in trouble here.
Okay, we won't go there.
I go to LAC because it's right here.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law does own 28 too, or is a co-owner, one of the co-owners. So
nice.
It's just too far down 28 for me, but I go on Saturdays and support when I can.
Yeah. They have a lot of runners on Saturdays, right?
Don't
they like run the neighborhood?
Yeah, they'll do like CrossFit workouts with running.
Yeah.
I went to 28 Fitness for 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. It's just, if we ever move to Pineville, I'll go back.
When you move to Pineville.
When I move to Pineville.
Or as David Butler
when I live in Nathan's district and send in complaints every day.
Every day to Nathan.
Dude, my grass is getting too long.
Yeah, well, you got to do something about your own grass. I mean, I can cut your grass. The city will come cut it and send you a bill. You don't want the city bill.
People are too noisy on the
neighbor's grass. That's the complaint I get. So
that's true.
It happens. I was excited to hear 28 Fitness.
Me too.
And they've been there a good little while. They've made us very successful.
Over 10 years.
Yeah. Been doing a good job. I never could get into CrossFit. The jumping on boxes just.
Well, they're not CrossFit anymore. They were CrossFit 28.
Oh, that's right.
For a long time. And then we can go into this. A lot of CrossFit gyms don't want to pay the membership anymore.
Oh, to have the name.
It keeps going up.
Yeah.
So an affiliation's was like 2,000, then went to like 3, and now it's like almost 5 to 6 a year. And for a CrossFit gym, That's a lot of money
Margins are
sometimes.
very tight.
Like even the CrossFit CEOs say like, hey, if you open up a CrossFit gym, you're probably not in it to get rich. You're in it for the love of the sport, for the methodology. Because it's a bit like a community. So it's awesome. And so they took it off. And then they got Nate Jansen as one of the coaches. Taylor Catano owns it now. And Jansen is the strength and conditioning coach, I think still at LCU.
Yeah.
Fantastic job. So it's like a heavier emphasis on Olympic lifting, on sports performance. I know they do a lot of sports performance for the young kids out there. They've added in 24-hour access. They have a cold plunge, a steam room. It's grown up a lot. And
They
it's
have
fantastic.
those things in that little space.
Yeah, they do.
Wow, I
They
didn't
got
know that.
turf in there now. They redid some of the walls. It's improved a lot.
You need to do a little feature on them to show us what they've got. That'd be great.
Well, and so CrossFit gyms kind of, a lot of them, especially in the early days, were like, let's go with the old box mentality. Like, let's not even paint the walls.
Right,
you know?
that's what it was.
But now it's moved into more of a more luxurious experience, and 28 Fitness is fantastic.
Well, I tell you what, those are great options. We have some good ones around the area. Just to know that they've advanced that far. LAC has kind of been the luxury one, with the steam room and the sauna and the pools. Not very many of them have pools anymore, indoor pools. So, but there's
Olympic
some great
style.
options. I've actually, I have a membership over in Pineville at a place called All Hours Fitness. And it's wonderful because you can go anytime you want, which means you can not go anytime you want like I do.
I think LIC Pineville's your go-to, man. Like, that's where a lot of guys just go in there.
I used to.
Your age and, drink the coffee. And
I was a member there for over 10 years. I really enjoyed the community. Really, really did. But life changes, things move down, and so I'm someplace else that I'm paying for to not go. So I'll be back with more commiseration right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
All of us have that one friend who can just light up the room with a smile. And sadly, how many of us are just a little bit envious of that friend? Well, here's the good news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver that beautiful beaming smile. Over the years, hundreds of hopeful patients have visited and been completely satisfied. They've made getting dental implants an amazingly simple, low-anxiety procedure, one that's affordable for anyone's budget. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you feel comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled, certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Isn't it your turn to light up that room? Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Gauthier. That's 448-4540.
Get ready to unwrap the magic of December in Alexandria Pineville. Create wonderful holiday memories with a stroll through the Alexandria Zoo with thousands of lights and whimsical lighted animal figures. Join us at Alex Winterfest, a free festival in downtown Alexandria, packed with fun for all ages, December 4th through 6th. For a complete and detailed list of all the exciting events happening in December, go to explorealexandriapineville.com and visit explorelouisiana.com to plan your trip today.
Great news, everybody. Karen is back at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express, located right there at the intersection of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road. Hungry for breakfast? Karen will hook you up with biscuits, croissants, subs, and all the hot coffee you can handle. Just stop by any weekday morning from 6 a.m. till 9 and get your day started right. It's breakfast just the way you like it. Fresh, hot, and satisfying. Now I'm hungry. At Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express on MacArthur Drive at Bayou Rapide Road.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, good morning. Welcome back to Talk Back. It is a few minutes before the top of the hour when the inimitable Matt Ritchie will be with us, and we'll ask him which gym does he go to, because he's in shape.
We'll ask him.
He's probably I know he's a tennis guy. Maybe that's what he does for his workout.
Oh, he is a tennis guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he likes pickleball.
That's a great question. I think he's talked about that. I am still intrigued. I think I would really like it. I just don't know how big a grease splat I'm going to leave when I fall on the pickleball court.
My shoulder's jacked up, so hold off the pickleball for a while.
Well, our frequent caller Dave has been a pickleball kind of guy, and he definitely, he and his son actually won their inaugural tournament, if I remember right, the beginners tournament, and I think he was hooked. Maybe they do that to hook you, and toss you a little win like that and then suck you right on in. By the way, he also texted me just a few minutes ago for a previous caller that they just got Starlink, and they're up in Grant Parish. So Starlink, I think it goes about $100 a month. I think it's $99 a month. And but I mean, that's in the ballpark of what people are paying for internet when you're out of the major access areas.
Okay, so like Verizon for me is like $30 a month.
You have home wireless?
Yeah.
I mean, you probably have it bundled with your phones, right?
But it wouldn't be that much more.
That's good. But I was thinking they're like $50 to $55 for people who don't have bundles.
Their phones are expensive though.
Yeah. Talk to me about AT&T. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Stephen and Nathan.
Hey, good morning, Nathan.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it just sounds like you need to change the name of your John to Jim so you can go every day, buddy. Just a real quick comment.
Change the name of my John?
That was funny.
To Jim.
That's really good.
You have a blessed
Hey, that's
day.
like a half a squat.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this one has gone to the pot. Let me tell you. This conversation's going downhill.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that on somebody.
Let me tell you, I jokingly said to my secretary years ago, I was going to rename, I have a big chair in my office. I was going to name it Prayer. And that way, if I'm ever crashed out on that chair and somebody calls, I can't interrupt the pastor. He's in prayer right now. So change John to Jim. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Good.
Well, okay. Well, we
got to get you back in the gym.
We do. I got to get back.
I'm going to get you into CrossFit. We should chronicle your CrossFit journey.
Oh, my goodness. That'd be horrible. I did years ago, back in the 90s. I was on another radio station, and another guy and I actually did this. We had metabolic something or other fitness.
Metabolic conditioning?
No. It wasn't conditioning. This was a weight loss powder that you drink, diet that you followed. And they bought advertising, and part of it was trade. As you know, happens in this industry. They'll trade you part of the price for a service. And their deal was we had to weigh in every week, and we had to announce our weight on the radio as we were on a weight loss journey.
Oh, my God.
That was embarrassing.
I don't like that.
That was quite, no, that's
not
you want to talk about accountability.
No, that's bad.
That's bad. I did lose weight.
Because it's unrealistic and it's unsustainable. There are sustainable ways to stay healthy, and that's not one of them. So.
I did lose weight. I'll say there's something about, all those people listening in, knowing how much you weigh. I ain't telling you today. I can tell you that. All right, that wraps up the show for the first hour. Sorry, caller, I just saw the blinking light. Feel free to call back in the second hour. We've got Matt Ritchie coming in. He's going to tell us what's really happening in Central Louisiana real estate. Stick around for Matt, Stephen, and Nathan after the top of the hour on Talkback.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Dick Cheney, a major force in Republican politics for more than 30 years, has died. After serving as President George H.W. Bush's defense secretary, his son chose Cheney as his running mate in 2000. Two-time vice president told CBS News.
He really wanted me to come on board because he thought I could help govern, be part of his team, and that he wanted me involved in everything.
Correspondent Nancy Cordes at the White House.
Part of the reason that he held so much power when he was vice president and really redefined that role for the modern day is because he came in with such deep legislative experience, having served in the House, deep foreign policy experience.
Cheney defended his daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney's criticism of President Trump's response to the January 6th attacks. His family says Cheney died from complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. He was 84. Americans are headed to the polls today. In New York City, self-described Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani is leading the race for mayor.
We are on the brink of making history in our city. On the brink of saying goodbye to a politics of the past. A politics that tells you what it can't do and really what it means to say is what it won't do.
His opponent, disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo. UVA political analyst Larry Sabato.
If Cuomo wins, it's a feather in Trump's cap because he's endorsed him and he has slashed the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and will probably make sure that he doesn't win. And those votes, if they don't go to Sliwa, will go to Cuomo.
It's a tight race for governor in New Jersey between Republican Jack Ciattarelli and Democrat Mikey Sherrill.
He's given Trump an A. He said there's nothing he disagrees with him on.
She was endorsed by former President Obama. President Trump held a tele-rally for Ciattarelli.
I'm never telling you what car you got to buy. I'm never telling you how to heat your home. I'm not telling you what appliance you have to buy.
Day 35 of the government shutdown, and the Trump administration says it's come up with money to partially fund the SNAP program. Sari Vatsky heads the Central Texas Food Bank.
We're encouraged to see that there's progress towards a resolution in issuing SNAP benefits. However, there's still a lot of unknown.
At least one major Tesla investor has rejected Elon Musk's $1 trillion pay package. CBS's Michael Wallace.
Norway's sovereign wealth fund is the first big investor to share how it voted. The fund said it, quote, appreciates the significant value created under Musk's visionary role, but is concerned about the award's size, dilution, and lack of mitigation of key person risk.
Dow futures are down 285. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Lily, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Say hi, Lily. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Pirie coming this October.
You don't look like police. Oh, so that was a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads, great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage, weird, but still a salad. One radish and a couple of green beans, also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke. Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. The LSU Board of Supervisors selects a new president today. Jeff Palermo has more from the perceived frontrunner, McNeese president Wade Roos.
Roos is one of 3 finalists, and if named president, he would like to see the structure of the leadership go back to the way it was more than a decade ago. A president for the LSU system and a chancellor for the Baton Rouge campus.
It becomes over and over obvious to me that there's sort of a weird setup here.
A weak part of Roos's resume is the lack of a research background, but he believes he can overcome that through leadership.
Earth-shattering research is going to be developed on this campus, but we're also going to have big wins at our outlying campuses, and we're going to change the way we educate Louisiana.
I'm Jeff Palermo.
3 New Orleans restaurants have received Michelin stars for the first time as the prestigious dining guide expanded to include the American South. Emerald's in the Warehouse District debuted in the guide with 2 stars. St. Germain on St. Claude Avenue and Mid-City's Zazu each received a single star. LRN.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Good morning. Another pretty day today with lots of sunshine. Afternoon high 74 today. Winds not much to speak of out of the southeast at about 5. Tonight, clear skies. Not as cold as last. We'll get down to 44 for the overnight low. And our Wednesday, another sunny day. Afternoon high temperatures getting up to 78. This really nice weather now stays with us right into the weekend. From the Zenlaw Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Happy Tuesday morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Talk Back. This is the place you want to be. It's the place with Matt Ritchie and the economic update here on Central Louisiana, along with Stephen Maxwell. I'm Nathan Martin. Matt, welcome back to the studio. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Oh, you know what? Do it every time. Say it again.
Good morning, Nathan. Morning, Stephen.
How's it going?
It's so good to be back. Just like you said, wasn't you just here yesterday or last week? And it does seem like because I was out for a month the last time, it seems like a long time. But no, it's been 2 weeks, and so we're trying to get back in the groove to our every first and third Tuesday of every month, and that's our normal routine. And
well, where do you work out? That's what we were wanting to know.
So let's just jump into that. So I go to LAC.
Oh, good. Okay.
Right on the LCU's campus. Great facility there.
Well, I didn't see your locker. Do you have a locker? I scoop out everyone's locker like, who goes here?
You know, here's the. I live literally less than 5 minutes from the gym, so I don't really have. I don't go in the locker room. I go in, do my business, and I walk out. So.
I kept a locker there for probably a decade. I teamed with somebody. He had one of the big tall ones.
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, put your stuff in my locker." And then he moved. And he said, "Well, you can just take over the rent." And it was so nice to keep all your toiletries there, and and extra pair of shoes and socks if you ever needed to. But you're so close, it makes it easy to.
LCU has great, and I go to the class. They have a class at 5:30. On Monday, Wednesdays. They have another one at 6 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and I like going to those. It kind of helps me kind of break the monotony.
Is this AM or PM?
That is AM.
Okie dokie.
That is AM. So I'm generally back home by 6:45, 7 a.m. So and I can be out and be at any job site, be at whatever I want to do. By 7:15, 7:30.
Well, I sweat like a stuck pig, so I had to take a shower. I wouldn't want to put my sweaty body in my vehicle. So what kind of class are you taking? Bicycling or aerobics?
No, they have these HIIT classes, like high energy classes, where you use your body weights, and then I do a cycle class every couple of days. So I've enjoyed it. I've been doing it the last several years, and as we get older, Nathan, we got to take care of our bodies. We got to take care of ourselves. And so, a couple of years ago, I really started thinking about that. And then so it's just become a routine now. So it's been good. So.
Well, Matt, you're back here today to talk about economic development, what's happening in Central Louisiana. Everybody loves this part of the show. I know I do, because we like hearing what's happening around the area. And you always bring us some great information about, new deals, new businesses coming, the biggest sale, those kinds of things. So what's on the top of your list this morning?
Well, let's go ahead and just say we're going to go ahead and cover economic activity from October 16th through the 31st of October, so for the last 2 weeks, essentially. We had a little over $18 million in transactions, actually $18,390,000 worth of volume during that time period for the last 2 weeks, compared to last year at the same time period, which is just a little under $1 million less at $17,193,000. So
respectable, though.
It's respectable, and that's where we're at. We've been in the 24 and 25 have been very similar markets. we've seen days on market, be longer than they had, early in 21, 22 and so 23 and 24, 25, we've started seeing the slower market than we saw 5 years ago. But you're still seeing volume. Folks are still transacting. Buyers and sellers are still out there, buying and selling for, obviously. And Stephen, I always point to you whenever we talk about interest rates. Because there's a conversation that you and I have a lot. There's a lot of folks still waiting for interest rates to drop. Now we've had another quarter point from the Fed here in the last couple of weeks, and so I think you'll still. Our national realtors, economists are still predicting that rates won't get too far into the fives or so even through next year.
I think there's something psychological, though. If it could just get to 5.99.
I think it could. I do. And because every time, I can tell you this, because I get a report, I've got about 15 residential agents in my office, and I've got 2 agents that do commercial and residential. So I get a report of all showings, of everything on my phone every day. And so I can see when you see just a quarter point drop, or even if it's not a Fed drop, but just a long-term mortgage, 30-year mortgage rate drop, even by 1/8 of a point or a quarter of a point, we'll see an uptick in showings. And so that's when we we can gauge our activity by how many people are actually out there looking.
And I still feel like, of course, we're coming into a slow season of the year historically. You get into the holidays. Is that not accurate?
Yeah, no, we're sitting here at the beginning of November. I feel like what happens is I call it the fall selling season. Right after Labor Day, back to school's over, Labor Day's over, and then September, October, you get a lot of folks who waited after from the spring and the summer, and timings works out, and they start looking, and they're starting to go out and look and put contracts on places, and then you'll see those things close at the end of November, or into December around Christmas time, and then right after the first, you'll see another little lull in the market, and then it's cold generally right in January, February, and then the spring selling season kind of picks back up in March when things starts warming up, the grass starts getting greener, and so it's just a cycle that I've seen year over year for the last, I've been licensed now for 26 years, believe it or not. And so,
we were looking the other day, I get bored and I'll look at homes in areas that I like. And I mean, there's some reasonably priced homes compared to what it used to be, I think, but it's still a little bit high in places.
Well, you can look at our sales. Our average sales price has actually gone up, even though our activity is slowing down. Our average sales price is actually just ticked up just a little bit. I mean, it's kind of going up, even from 21, when we were at all-time top prices. We're still seeing an uptick, even though we have slower activity. A lot of that has to do with the inventory. We just don't have a ton of inventory, especially when you get in the 150 to 250 range. There's just not a lot of good inventory in the market, and that's not an Alexandria or Central Louisiana problem. That's a problem all over the country. We've talked about. I don't want to get too much into my campaign, but we've been to a total of 23 states physically. We've been to, and I've Zoomed with 5 other states in the last 9 weeks, and so I'm seeing market statistics and hearing about markets all over the country, East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. And it's not special. We have inventory. That's those entry level price ranges are still tough price ranges to overcome in every market, and it's created a whole nationwide affordability issue. I mean, affordable housing is a nationwide issue.
What is considered entry level today
in our market? In Alexandria, probably.
Right. Is it 150?
Good luck with that. That's on the low end. Yeah. I would say we're seeing entry level, and like D.R. Horton, for instance, they are putting out 230, 240, 250, 260 houses, and we're seeing first-time home buyers buy those new construction homes in that 225, 230, 240, 250 range. Now, that's all. You're shaking your head, and I hear you, but that's also when rates were. We saw that when rates were 3% and 4%. Now that rates have been at 6% and 7%, you don't see that, but like you take a company like D.R. Horton, they're actually offering their own financing. So they're actually going in and offering a 5% rate.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and so they're coming in below because they're obviously trying to sell homes, and they've got their whole, everywhere from. I mean, they've got the whole system down from build to financing to disposition. I mean, they've got the whole process down pat. So
I was looking in Pineville the other day, and I mean, you can find some decent ones for like $220, $225. I mean, with a 7% interest rate, 6%.
That makes a big difference.
$1,800 a month.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but then when you get a 5% rate, a 5.5% rate, that makes a little difference. So, and talk about housing. One of the things I wanted to talk about before, because we have two large transactions I do want to get to, but I attended the Downtown Development District developers meeting yesterday.
I wanted to ask you how that went.
And I thought it went well. Tom David gave a really good explanation and presentation on how we got to where we're at today, how we got through, how the Downtown Development District, was formed, the properties that it has sold, the process that it went through to be sold, and the disposition of it, exactly how it works. And then there's two tracks that the Downtown Development District would like to attract some development to right now. There was a handful of developers in town that I know that actually are active builders right now. So that was good news. We had at least 3 different developers who are actively constructing projects today in Alexandria and Pineville that were there. So that was good. And so, there's an 11, 12 acre tract, that would like to be developed, what they call Rainbow Ridge. And then there was another track on Shell Road, which coming down Shamrock, First Street on the right, going into the Central State Hospital. And
last street on the right. First Street's Martin Avenue.
Well, you're right. That is, and what I meant was the First Street, kind of when you get
into
onto
the
Central State Hospital. Yeah. And so that backs up to residential. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for that to be a residential development. And so,
it's high enough you don't have flood issues, because you get below there, that Spanish Bayou runs through there. So,
right.
But it's already built up, so no issues.
Yeah. So that it was a really good meeting. We had I had a chance to get up and voice some opinion about, from a developer standpoint, one of the things that I believe that has been a challenge, and I think when the legislation was written, it was not. You can't think of anything. You can't think of everything at the time. And so can't fault that. But moving forward, I believe that, when a developer looks at a property and looks at potentially something developed, they really need to know what they're gonna have to pay for. And so the way the process is now is that if you go to the Downtown Development District and you say, look, I want to take this. I'm just going to say Shell Road, for instance, or Rainbow Ridge, either one. And you say, I would like to develop this property. Well, they have to put in an RFP, and there's a lot of due diligence. There's a lot of testing. There's a lot of things that money has to be spent. And the Downtown Development District is the one only has limited funds, and so they're obviously very careful about the projects that they take to RFP. But then you don't know what the price of the land is until you get the appraisal back from the state. And so my comments were, I really believe that either Downtown Development District or the city or whoever's going to be in charge of that, let's go ahead and get prices on demo. Let's know exactly up front what demo cost is going to cost, whether it be for the residential houses, whether it be for any of the older dormitories or structures or office buildings that are just completely uninhabitable at this point, that just are not in good shape. Let's go ahead and get those numbers, provide those to the state appraisal department, see if we can get some type of idea, because if the numbers are off, because one of the important numbers to a project, any development project, real estate development project, is the land cost. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times that land cost could be 25% of the total project. And so
throw it all asbestos in there and you got a problem.
Well, you throw a lot of unknowns in there. And so I believe that I would love to see And that's just perspective. This was not discussed yesterday. What I'd love to see is if we could somehow get all the municipalities, state, local, together and actually get that. Just it's going to cost a lot of money to raise those buildings, and I say raise, demo.
RAIZE.
Right,
yeah,
right. To demo all those buildings, except the historical ones. There are some. I think there's 4 identified historical buildings that would like to. The city would like to be maintained and stayed, and the state would, and historical folks would like to, but all the rest of them, do away with them. And if somehow we could achieve that, and we could accomplish that as a community, and then have so you take that out, because I think that's going to hinder half the developers coming in and saying, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
Well, because when you have all these big unknown question marks, most developers are just going to go, well, let me go find another easier property to develop. Let me go figure out where I can do this a lot easier. But the comment was made that, we do, and I truly believe this, that is a jewel of an area of Central Louisiana, not just Pineville, but all of Central Louisiana, that could be a phenomenal development piece for years to come if done properly. And I know that just based off the comments from Tom David and Mr. Tudor and the folks leading that charge, they want, and they're going to be conscious of any project that comes in there, and it's got to make sense. It's got to be something that's going to benefit the city. And so, all that being said, we should be optimistic if we can make the deal fit and get it teed up for the right development. I think it could be a fantastic. It's going to be a 25-year project. Mm-hmm. Think about it. The Lake District in Alexandria, here in Alexandria, was developed about 25 years ago. 25 years later, and there's beautiful homes there. There's beautiful retail. There's beautiful office buildings.
It's just now coming into its prime.
But it's not even completely filled in. And so that's what we also got to realize, that our market does not have the demand's not there to be able to absorb all that supply.
Unless a data center comes. And I want to ask you about that after the break.
Well, let's talk about that, and we'll talk about some other deals when we come back.
Sounds good. More with Matt Ritchie right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Reunited, and we're so excited. AEX is proud to announce that daily United Express flights to Houston are returning, operated by SkyWest Airlines. Book now. Daily connections from Alexandria to Houston will begin in May. Reservations are now open, and United Mileage Plus loyalty members can earn miles for their flights.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for takeoff.
To book a flight, visit flyaex.org/united.
Houston, we have liftoff.
Think your antivirus is enough? Think again. Your business firewall is the first and often only line of defense against cyber attacks. At Kinetics, we manage, monitor, and update your firewall 24/7, keeping threats out and your data protected. Don't leave your network exposed or your team scrambling. Let the experts handle it. Get your free assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics, IT that works.
My wife was frying okra. She's from Mississippi, so that's her favorite thing to do. She left the burner on high, and it didn't take long to ignite. So I ran to the stove, grabbed the pot, and that's when I got burned from a grease fire. And yes, the pain was, it was bad. Oh, Blue Cross treated me great with the recovery process. On the financial side, it would be expensive without Blue Cross. And that's what I was worrying about, because I was out of work for 3 months. I'm Chad. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I had Blue Cross for 10 years. I don't eat fried okra. That's the funniest story.
Louisiana Blue. The right card, the right care.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
Welcome back to Talk Back, where the scoop off air is delicious, and the scoop on air is really good too. And we have some callers that want to get in on the action, so let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller number 1. You're on the line with Matt Ritchie.
Yeah, you were mentioning the Lake District, and from my perspective, having basically been associated with the area since it started to be developed, one of the most picturesque areas there is the huge meadow across the street from the West Side Library. And I'm wondering why that area hasn't been slapped full of businesses.
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before the break, is that the demand, our market just hadn't been able to, the demand just hadn't been there. And as much as we would like it to see there, we'd like it to be there. It wasn't until the Lake District Group sold the property on the I guess it would be the west side of Versailles Boulevard, which is now called Pecan Bayou, and that subdivision back there, and then the strip centers that end up being built along the commercial side of the Versailles Boulevard there. It wasn't until Joey Verser and Wayne Bauman bought that, and they had the restrictions of the Lake District released, were not enforced on that side of Versailles. That's when you started seeing development. And so, and that's another reason why you hadn't seen a lot of development other than Sam Spurgeon building his big office building on that side of Versailles, because it costs more to build there. There's the way you have to park your cars. There's different restrictions. Now, I believe some of that's they're realizing that the market, maybe that wasn't the right thing for this market, but all those lots sold. All those lots end up selling, but no one's actually built because of the increased cost and or restrictions of certain architectural features that the buildings are required to have per the Lake District restrictions. So that, in my opinion, I believe it's two reasons. I believe the Lake District architectural restrictions was one challenge that local folks didn't either agree with or like. And then second, I just believe that we have not had the demand to backfill those spaces. You're starting to see it. And Sam just built his building. Heart of Louisiana is building their building. They bought that lot. Shoot, I think they bought that lot 15 or 16 years ago, and they're just now building right there on the opposite corner there. And so
El Paso.
Well, you've got El Paso. So you're starting to see all that infill.
El Paso looks huge.
Yes, it's going to be big. Yeah. And so I don't. So that's, in my opinion, that's why we haven't seen. That's a gorgeous. It's about a 10-acre tract there. I know the lot you're talking about. It just there just hadn't been a kind of demand for it.
Well, I have a question. Why can't some civic-minded group turn that into a green space and let it be a beautiful green space in the middle of a huge developmental area? What's wrong with green spaces?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with green spaces, but the gentleman that owns it, I think he's got about $1 million, $1.2 million into the land, into the lot. So unless you had just had some folks that had deep pockets that wanted to see that green, I don't know that and the original developer, that was not part of their master plan as far as creating a green space there. So unless folks just wanted to see that and had the money to invest in the green space, I don't see that happening. But
why not? Who would have to do something like that? Would, say, the mayor have to say, well, gee, we need some green spaces in amongst all these huge amounts of rock and mortar and brick?
Yeah,
what's wrong with green spaces?
I love green spaces. I just, that was a planned planned, what they call a planned urban development. When it was originally built, the developers, obviously with the lakes, and they do have green space, and they try to do as much. They try to elevate the presence of the design and architecture and green space as much as they could. And so, when even the city has different landscaping requirements, whenever you go build something, you have to have so much green space and so many trees planted and that kind of thing now. So, which we didn't have a long time ago. And so, but those are all things that are implemented. But as far as who do you call the owner and would ask him, hey, turn in the green space. But obviously it's somebody's got million, $1 million, $2 million into something. They're unless they have a heart or passion about like you are. I don't know that happened as far as who to call, whether it be the mayor's office or whether it be the community development office or the city councilman for that area. May be a good place to start the conversation.
Well, frankly, I understand that there's investment. The property exists and somebody owns it. And it just seems like to me that civic planning ought to get more into green than it is into bricks and mortar.
Well, there is quite a bit of design. I know the residential Lake District residential community, I guess it's an association, owns some of the lakes around there, and that may be their design. Unfortunately, we're up against this hard break. Caller, thank you so much for your call, and we'll be back with the next caller right after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. If you have a Jeep made by Stellantis, you might have to park it outside and not charge it until the automaker fixes it, because Stellantis is recalling over 320,000 Jeep vehicles because the batteries on the plug-in hybrids can catch fire. Bitcoin dropping to the lowest level since late June. Software company Palantir under pressure. Palantir being shorted by well-known hedge fund manager Michael Burry of book and movie The Big Short fame. Burry is also betting AI chipmaker NVIDIA will fall. Full-grown adults are spending tens of thousands of dollars on Lego sets. Wall Street Journal says some are so addicted, they're remodeling their homes to make room for their Legoland utopias. And now that Halloween is over, here come the new Thanksgiving-inspired Oreo cookie flavors, including turkey and gravy, sweet potato, cream corn, apple caramel pie, pumpkin pie, and cranberry sauce. Of course, all of them, even the turkey and gravy flavor, they're all covered in fudge. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12 weeks. Exclusive to today's Dental in Pineville, Virtual Align Clear Aligners, the fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the Virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. 448-4540.
Ready for the ultimate game day? This football season, Southern Air and LSU Athletics want you as the Southern Air fan of the game. Each week, one lucky winner scores 4 LSU home game tickets, VIP hospitality, pregame sideline access, and the chance to cheer on the Tigers. Plus, all winners are entered to win a brand new side-by-side at season's end. Enter now at southernairnow.com or Southern Air's Facebook page. Southern Air, cooling, heating, plumbing, and generators. Learn more at southernairnow.com. Go Tigers.
For the city, this group loves to compete. This group's not going to back down from anybody. We bleed. A lot of joy competing with these kids. Tech Blue. And I know we're going to fight and scratch and claw to compete for Conference USA Championship.
Join us Saturday. The Dogs are headed to the Northeast to battle the Blue Hens. Our coverage begins at 12:30 on your home for Bulldogs football.
Louisiana Tech football, exclusively in Cenla on 94.7 ESPN. Another clear and cold night tonight, as we'll see the overnight lows under clear skies down to 39 degrees. On Tuesday, another nice day, sunny skies, 74 will do it for the afternoon high. 44, the overnight low on Tuesday night, and then as we look ahead to Wednesday, another nice day with sunshine, 78 for the afternoon high. This really nice weather continues right into the weekend. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talk back. To take part of the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
Welcome back to Talk Back. Matt Ritchie, we had a caller that waited for a little while, and then we dropped him. Sorry, he dropped off, or she, sorry. But feel free to call back, 318-442-8255. Get straight to the source. I don't want to call Matt a horse, but you can get it from the horse's mouth. What you got else, Matt?
Well, let's jump into, we were talking about the Lake District and Versailles Boulevard, and I want to talk about the largest sale that we had in the last 2 weeks was actually on Versailles Boulevard. It was 78, 80, and 82 Versailles Boulevard. Sold for $3,660,000, and what that is, it was a little strip center right off the corner of Versailles and Provine, and it was where Christus Cabrini had some corporate offices there, and so Three Woods Holdings LLC sells to Junior Investments, two local LLCs that own that, and it's Lot 3 Pecan Bayou. And that was a $3,660,000 sale. If I remember right, that building was about 15,000 square feet or so of basically retail space, and they ended up only having a couple of tenants in there. So happy for both the buyer and seller for that. I mean, just from a seller standpoint, wasn't a bad sale. From a buyer's, assuming there was some leases extended in there, and then from a buyer standpoint, you couldn't buy that lot and rebuild and replicate the parking lot, the building, and everything. Unfortunately, you couldn't do that today for $3,660,000. It would be really, really tough to replicate that. So that's just, when you see these strip buildings being built, I mean, you would be amazing how much it's actually cost to actually build these things, especially when you find a strip center in a good location. You got to factor all that, because you just it just costs. New construction, it's concrete, everything, all of the above is just it's on the high side. But I've been saying, I say that, and because I have investors that I talk to on a regular basis, and they say, "Man, how come you haven't built this?" Well, I think it's too expensive. But the problem is, it was too expensive 20 years ago.
It'll never be less expensive than it is today.
That's the moral of my story. I'm just, so don't let me get in the way of that, because if I told folks it was too expensive 10 years ago, they wouldn't have built what they built. And now they're glad that they built what they built 10 years ago, because obviously it's costing double today.
Well, put the pencil to it. If it makes sense, do it.
Absolutely.
All right? Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie.
Hey, good morning, guys. Jay Luno. How are y'all doing?
Good morning, Jay.
Senator, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you. I apparently need to do a better job than what I've been doing dealing with the Central property, because there's a lot going on that you guys did mention today and obviously didn't know about. But we have recently, we're in the process of going through the condemnation of several buildings out there, and I've signed off on those and just got notice that that process is in place. So the buildings that are nearest Giles are going to be coming down pretty soon.
Oh, that's great.
And so that's going to, yeah. We're also in the process of working on some infrastructure out there on that property to make it more attractive to investors and to deal with some of the issues that we've been faced with. We're coming out there, and so hopefully we're going to be able to get funding and get that put in place so we can keep moving on that. Our thought when I first did the legislation for this thing, and I met with drafters on it, and I explained to them how I wanted to sell off a little bit at a time, because I thought that would be the way to do it. And really, it's worked pretty good. We sold the Why Not Stop. We sold the other locations of Giles, Hyundai location, and some others out there, and it's worked really well. So I'm hopeful that we can keep going in that mode and continue to develop that property.
Jay, do you believe that you'll be able to eventually get all those buildings raised?
So there are some of them that we would like to see refurb. There are not many, but there are some of the more historical buildings that were administration type buildings that we think could be refurbed and reused. One of the things that we're going to do pretty soon is we have provisions in the legislation that we passed to take care of the cottage, to take care of the cemeteries and those things, and we're going to have to work on getting some plans in place to figure out how best to do that. And another thing too is the money was earmarked from the sale of that property to go toward the expansion of Central Hospital. We have plans for another 70 beds that we can fill up in a week. So we're looking at using that money to help expand that facility, so taxpayers don't have to look at footing that bill.
No, that's great, Jay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that update now, because that was not mentioned, nor did I know that there was already some action being taken on demo in those buildings, especially behind Giles, because obviously you see those first when you drive through Rainbow Drive. So I think that's awesome. Yeah. Obviously, the ones that you don't see, especially back like where Red River Treatment Center used to be, and the ones that I know the city's having some problems policing because the homeless and vagrants are back there, and if unless you're going back there, you would never, nobody driving through Central will ever see those. And so obviously restoration of the red, of the barn and the Rose Cottage and the administration office, those are obviously in critical buildings that we want to preserve. But yeah, obviously all the rest of them, especially the ones you can't see, I hope that we can continue that to get those demoed as well.
Yeah, and we're going to continue to work on that. There's just a limited amount of funds to do that, and I've been trying to do a little bit at a time and kind of move it in the direction that the development district wanted to go, because they're our conduit to help sell all this property and work it through them, and they've done a great job on that. So we're trying to keep going down the same path we're going, and we don't want to get in too big a hurry because we want to make the right decisions, and sometimes. If you move too fast, your decisions don't work out so good. So.
Well, Senator, I want to publicly thank you. The hard work you've done with the barn, the preservation there, the work, the vision you've had for the entire redevelopment, I think has created the synergy that's taken place. So thank you, and love to have you get on for a full segment in the studio. I'll text you some options soon, and we'll see if we can get you in here.
That'd be great. Thank you. Love to do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
All right, Louisiana State Senator Jay Luno calling in on the BOM talk line, 318-442-8255. Love to have more calls. We got more Matt coming up right after this.
KSYL. Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
A message from Israel Air Conditioning and Heating.
Yeah, my mama, she told me to pick up and call Israel Air.
She told me Israel Air. She told me.
She said they'll come running with comfort beyond compare.
At a very fair price.
Because you know we're all about your comfort, no troubles. Call 442-6657. That's 442-6657. We're all about your comfort,
It's talkback, 770 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
Welcome back to Talk Back. It's the Happening Place with the Happening Man, Matt Ritchie, who tells you what's happening in Central Louisiana, economic-wise. I got to ask a question. Anything new coming to the Pines?
Well, talking about the Pines, no, but you've seen, let me rephrase that. Yes, we do have something new. I can't tell you what it is just yet.
You're such a tease.
But we do have something new, and I think it's going to be fantastic, and I think the community and everyone's going to love it.
Well, thankfully, the outside lanes of 165 have opened in that area. Hopefully, Little Cakes and your friends over there in those shopping centers who now have easier access to their properties are getting their business back up. And a couple more months, it'll all be like a bad dream.
Yeah, it was it's obviously a challenge anytime you go through that. But after it's all said and done, it'll be nice. And everybody will forget that it even happened.
Yeah.
And so, we obviously have TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx actually, we finished their space. Cleco just hooked us up yesterday.
Come on.
Hooked electricity up. So they're now TJ Maxx. We did our part. So now TJ Maxx, their construction crew is now going in. They're telling me they're going to be shooting for an April opening.
Good.
So that's good news for those wanting to know. And so we're not finished with the facade, but obviously we're doing a lot of work to it. And you see all the scaffolding and all that going on. And so you'll continue to see a lot of work on that building for the next 4 or 5 months. And then the tenants will end up taking over the infill of those spaces. And then hopefully by June of next year, the whole all 3 spaces will be filled and we'll be up and running and have that project behind us. So that building will now be 100% hopefully by mid next year. Talking about deals though, talking about retail, another large transaction that took place in the last 2 weeks was the corner of Jackson and MacArthur, 3504 Jackson Street. Now Lada out of Gulfport, Mississippi, sells to Tarpley Village, LLC, out of Fresno, California. So that was an out-of-town, out-of-state seller, out-of-state buyer. They bought that corner, which is only about 0.6 of an acre, and it's where Mattress Firm is. And so Mattress Firm, for those of you who don't remember, they came in and opened 2 stores about 10 years ago in Alexandria. One, literally a mile apart, one on the South Traffic Circle next to the Rayford Building, and one on this location. The one on the South Traffic Circle ended up closing down during their bankruptcy. They closed about half of their stores. This one stayed open, so apparently they still have a good solid lease and are doing good sales there. And it sold for $2,300,000. And so if you want to see what $2,300,000 looks like, it's Mattress Firm on the corner of Jackson and MacArthur Drive.
What's interesting, I'm looking back at the Rapids Assessor records, they bought it for 3.1.
Yeah.
So it did go backwards, but I'm sure they've made some money on selling a few things.
Well, what that tells me is that the lease is, there's not much term left on the lease. And so the new buyers either betting that they're going to renew their lease, or they're bought it with anticipation that they're going to have to release it to someone else. Mm-hmm. And so because the value of these properties are only as good as the value of the lease.
Sherlock Ritchie over here, he gets one piece of clue about something. He goes, that tells me. I love that, Matt. That is awesome.
Well, but that is true. We all see empty buildings. You see empty Dollar Generals. Well, especially we see Family Dollars, especially out in the rural area, Holloway area, Pollock. You see these empty Family Dollar stores. Those are only, they may have spent $1.5 million building those things, but when they're empty in those small communities, they're worth about a third of what they're, because there's no retail tenant that's going to be able to backfill that space that'll generate enough income to service the debt of the original
price.
They got an empty one in Cedar Point too.
An empty one, So that happens, and that's the only challenge with those type stores.
And many of those are built by someone who turn around and lease it to the company, right?
That's right, because those companies they want to invest their money in their product and their business model, and real estate's not part of their business model, and they don't. So they lease all their stores. So when they want to have a location, they'll say, okay, we know that there's this many people. They'll just drop a pin and they'll go, they'll drop a pin and they'll say, there's this many people that have this much disposable income, that have this kind of job, that their whole demographic profile, and they'll just find those cluster of folks, drop a pin, and they'll tell the developers, say, hey, look, go find me a tract within a quarter mile or half a mile of this pin right here. Go find a tract. If you'll do that, we approve it. You build the store, we'll lease it from you. And they do, and they do it every day.
Well, hats off to these risk takers, the developers who do that, because, I mean, it's a risk.
It is a risk. It is a risk. And we've had a couple of local developers who've done sizable projects. I know D'Argent for a long time was doing Dollar General stores, and then Ratcliffe Development, Greg Thompson and his group, they were doing a bunch of them. I mean, dozens and dozens of them all over the country. And so it's definitely a risk. And so obviously, most folks don't understand that and how it works. And so, there's obviously you gotta be good at what you do, and they're obviously good at what they do. So
I hate to do this to you, but the last break of the hour is here.
We do have some more deals to talk about, so we'll try to fit them in when we come back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and limit 4730052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
If I could sing, I would say it's the final segment. So, Matt Ritchie, give us the morgue deals.
Yeah, let's talk about some investment sales that took place in the last 2 weeks. Bellina Farms Investments sells to S&G Investments at Branson. That's another deal that Greg Wright, that's his company, S&G Investments at Branson, sells to Bellina Investments. Bellina Investments is actually a property, an entity that Rod Knowles is a partner in, along with the Moody family. And so they sold a group of their rental properties to Greg, and then they end up having another little sale over off Brentwood Avenue, sold another one. So they had one sale, a cluster of them, and I would guess that at $1.3 million, there was probably 6 or 7 homes included in that package, and then they bought another one in an individual transaction for $275,000. So Greg Wright continues to reinvest his dollars into Central Louisiana, which is good. I think that's anytime you got folks investing in the market, that's good news. So Robert Kelly out of Pineville sells to RBL Investments a one-bedroom, looks like probably a one-bedroom unit over at Williamsburg Condominium. That's a small investment sale. And then George Geekus, who used to be in the roofing business. Actually, they did a lot of roofs for me early on in my career. Sells to Ross the Realtor, a property over on Gavin Drive in Ball for about $45,000, lot 33 of Floyd Acres. And then Two Lou Properties sells to Book Rentals, lot 19, Mansur Addition. I'm pretty sure that's 2 duplexes right there on Mansur Boulevard. Mansur's mainly comprised of duplex units. There was about 66 apartments there that we actually recently sold as a trustee for the bankruptcy court. And there was about 66 apartments, and the Bishop Enterprises bought that, and they're remodeling all 66 of those apartments. And these were two newer duplexes, like really new, probably in the last 10 years, where those other ones were all, 40, 50 years old. And so two duplexes sold on Mansfield Boulevard for about $175,000. And then TCBA LLC selling on Dorchester Drive, Lot 6, Dorchester Townhouse Subdivision for about $258,000. And I'm pretty sure that's a little strip of land right there off of kind of where Dorchester hits Hyman Lane. And so congratulations to those folks involved in that transaction. Let's see, you got a contract of interest. Apparently One Life Church out off of Coliseum Boulevard is doing some expansion because they hired D. Argent Construction to do a project there for about $300,000. So that's good seeing folks reinvest in their buildings. So I always like to see that. Malik Hammond sells to Law 5 LLC a little office warehouse property at 1837 Lee Street for $75,000. So Law 5 is Ben Lawrence, and so Ben continues to be an active investor in Central Louisiana. Most recently, he actually bought the old Salvation Army building on Beauregard Street, right where they relocated on the corner of Murray and 13th. But Ben bought that property. I asked him what he was going to do with it. He said he wasn't sure. He just thought it was a good deal. So
I was surprised the school board didn't buy that.
I was too. But I think that I don't know that they need more buildings. I think they needed more parking. And so I think parking is more of an issue than anything else. But
any idea about the Exxon on the corner of Jackson and Bolton?
Is it still closed?
It was the last time I drove by there. I think it was. The lease expired.
I'm just going to tell you that for those that drive through there, everybody sees what everybody sees. It's just a tough corner. Mm-hmm. It's a tough corner to, where you've got the store there, you've got the little restaurant there. I mean, CVS didn't close because, CVS closed because there was a crime and theft problem. You have the washateria there. You have the, that's just a tough block right there. And I think it could be turned around. I don't particularly have the answer to what to do with it.
I'm not an expert in operating a convenience store, gas store. Yes.
But, I don't know why it seems like that store would have serviced even if it was not even walk-in, even if you didn't have to walk in the store, even just with fuel right there, because there's not another fuel source for, a mile or two.
Right. Well, you're going to laugh at me. I would go there for gizzards because they sold fried chicken gizzards and they were good.
Well,
I've left you speechless, man. That's never happened before.
I never
love gizzards.
I never had the gizzards there, but I'm going to trust you, Nathan, that the gizzards were fantastic.
Yeah, there's a few places in town that have good gizzards. Pelican on 28 has the best gizzards.
Let me tell you about Pelican on 28. Anything fried that comes out of that place is actually really good.
They probably pour MSG on. I'm just kidding. I have no idea, but everything I've eaten there is really good.
It really is. I agree with you. No news. I haven't heard anything. I know I get a lot of calls about the KFC. They painted it white. One of the reasons
it really looks nice.
They painted it white because the KFC wanted to take the branding off of it. So I think you'll see, because I've had some calls. I haven't been able to make any headway with the ownership group that owns it. I think they're probably still pretty proud of it as far as what they believe it's worth. They may be trying to re-tenant it themselves. So but hopefully we may be able to get an update on that next time. And hopefully next time I'll be able to update you on what's going on in the Pines.
All right. 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
You got any travels between now and then?
I do, but I'll be here on the 18th.
Great. We look forward to it. Matt Ritchie, the economic update for Central Louisiana. He's the man. He's got the plan. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow for Al and Steve and all your calls. Talk to you then.